first thing when I looked at all of the documents was, what's the assumption we're making about how much water we need? And is that how much water we really need? Can we manage it by managing demand, by managing the basin better, and by using recycled water for even if it's only 100 acre feet? Can we do it in a way that doesn't require an alternative other than desalination or whale rock or whatever alternative you want to bring up and analyze? Basin management was tossed out in the first and wasn't even analyzed because it's too difficult to you have to deal with people instead of just technical engineering. I meant to say this at the start. Thank you very much to Ms. Rudock for working with AGP to get these videos up. I think it's definitely a service to the community. We could use more workshop-like situations to let people know what's going on. I think it's an asset to the community. So if you look at if you look at your water bill, the water master plan says you want to provide 18 units per household per bi-monthly billing cycle. Well, that's about 232 gallons at the upper end. Could be 221, depends on how far into the 18 units you are, of course. This community uses nowhere near that. This community, most people, 70% of the people, were not surcharged when we had surcharges in '07. They were using 12 units or less. 12 units is 159 gallons for your household for the day. The state of California, in the 20 by 2020 plan, where they're trying to reduce water use by 20%, their goal for indoor water use, this doesn't count outdoor watering, which is less than most places here, is 55 gallons per person per day. That's 9 units for a 2-person household, and this community averages 2.2 people per house. I don't have one of the 0.2 in my house, but maybe that's dogs or something. I don't know. It is very difficult to do water planning and to figure out what your community is going to demand in terms of water. There's been so many advances in water technologies that make water use more efficient without sacrificing any amount of quality of life. Just if you look at water from toilet use alone, in '92, when the state of California said no more of these 6-gallon per flush toilets, the amount of water that's been saved just from that and there is no difference in quality. You can even get one that's less than that now, and the quality is still there. It doesn't affect your life, but you're using half as much water. And in a community the size of ours, the difference between us using, say, 9 units and 12 units is per year. If everybody used 9 units per year, every household, we'd be using 579 acre feet. If everybody used 12 units, then we'd be using 830 acre feet. That's a lot for 3 units per connection per billing cycle. So the size of the community really makes a big difference in the amount of water that we use. I'm going to wrap up my comments just by saying this. I question the assumptions that we are making in terms of how much additional water we need and the cost for that water for how often we may need it. The calculations were done on the super worst case scenario, which you have to plan for the worst case. It could be that we only need the desal plant for 200 acre feet every 5 or 6 years. It's a lot of money to run something every 5 or 6 years. I just would really like to emphasize this community does not use and probably will not be able to use 18 units per connection bi-monthly, and maybe that needs to be reconsidered in designing whatever alternative is chosen. Thank you.
My only comment is on a statistic that you just put out. You said that 12 units on average per household would result in 830 acre-feet per year of consumption.
For residential, and that doesn't count, if you add on 25% for commercial, it's about 1,037 acre feet.
Okay, well, we're pumping 800 to 850 acre-feet per year. So we're on the knife's edge.
We're not. The last year we used 700.
Well,
And
the demand for water is down. If you go back historically, and it's been higher than that.
It goes up to 810.
The maximum that we can extract,
is
the maximum we
1230.
seem to be able to extract is around 800 to 850, because that's all there is.
We have permits to allow up to 1,230 for both
I know, but the
aquifers.
water's just not there. So, you know.
Well, until there's more detailed in-stream water studies, we don't know that. And that's what the California Coastal Commission has asked for.
Thank you. Historically, I think we do know that.
Amanda, there's one wild card in your calculation. That's the number of vacationing homes here, people that are here just part-time. Usually when the economy is down, they don't go on vacation, so there are homes standing empty. Our worst case scenario is where they all retire here tomorrow. And we have no idea whether there will be a 20% increase in population or not, you know.
But an increase in population, as I said earlier today, does not necessarily mean an increase in water use.
Well, I agree.
Especially if you're accounting for that every time a home is sold, you're actually checking to make sure it's been retrofitted, because that ordinance is on the books.
Yeah, but most homes have been retrofitted. I mean,
but has anybody checked that?
I think that a lot of builders have done that because when they had the opportunity to retrofit homes, they combed the neighborhoods, and I think it's been done pretty well. The only ones that are not retrofitted are very old homes where everything is non-standard and there'd be no way they could replace it.
Because the community is so small, small changes in the number of gallons per day per person can make a big difference in the amount of water we actually need.
I think that's true if we were not conserving, but you know, so you've got the numbers, in fact you had them the other day, from 1990, there's been a considerable reduction. You know,
there has, and using more than 100 gallons per day per person is I think in a world that is getting more chaotic climatically, just irresponsible of us. Thank you.
Thank you.